Alright, welcome back to Shaving Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. Hi y'all on Wednesday. And if it's Wednesday, it must be Williams Wednesday. So we're actually going to do Williams Wednesday on Wednesday. Hey, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, anyway, digging around in something I hadn't done in a while. Let's use the 1902 Kemp Brothers Star. Had a couple of really neat things about this. It's got the spring loaded little keeper, so you can use a wedge blade or a modern blade. I do have some wedge blades, however they are not in shaving condition because Fuzzy don't home. This one's also neat because the head would pivot open for cleaning and stuff. Don't know if that was strictly needed, but it's a neat thing. And you adjust the blade against the blade stops there. Because the old wedge blades, as you would use them, they would get narrower as you would grind the edge off, so you had to have a way to keep adjusting to keep them pushed tight up against the blade stops. So you use that the little adjustment lever in the back, and the further you move it over, the more forward pressure it puts on the blade, and that keeps it up against the blade stops. Well, there you go. Now you know. Alrighty, so we got a blade up here. This actually might be a stainless blade. That's okay. It's got a few uses on it. We'll try it. If it doesn't work, we'll switch it out for another one that is not hard. So the little clippy thingy on the back there that pushes the blade up against the blade stops, and that's what you end up with. So there we go, 1902. I had to go refresh myself in weights on all the difference of the ones, and I don't remember the designation of that one right off the top of my head, but it was 1902. Oh, that's good. That is actually Cafe Bustelo, but this is not the instant Cafe Bustelo. This is actually the ground coffee in a percolator. So it's got a little bark to it, which I think is absolutely outstanding. So for the Williams today, we're going to use a vintage shave stick. And since the demise of Williams, it's all getting to be vintage, but the vintage shave stick is what we're going to use today. Nice warm water rinse, because I'm not one of those people afflicted with the cold water shaving disease. And people are. I don't know, they should make meds for that. That's all I got to say. So the kids are back in full swing around here, and of course I still live right next to campus. Well, Fuzzy, why haven't you moved? I'm glad you asked. Moving is a hassle in this town, and finding a place to move to and doing all the hoops you have to jump through to get a new place, I found out, was absolutely horrendous. I'll put up with the kids. The little complex I live in is relatively quiet, so we don't have any big kid problems here. See, Williams shave stick. And we don't have any big kid problems here actually in the complex. The problem is they don't know how to drive. I mean, really, who teaches kids these days? I don't know. A lot of them got really fancy cars, and you know, the car industry should be sued. I say this all the time, and the truth of the matter is this. They're building a product that is made to break the law, and then it is marketed to kids. Well, Fuzzy, what are you talking about? What is the highest absolute top speed limit in Louisiana, let's say, since I'm in Louisiana? 75 as far as I know. I think maybe Texas used to have some 80s out there, West Texas. I don't remember. Anyway, I think in Louisiana 75. So they're building cars that are built out of the factory, not that you're going and adding things on to make them do it, but that are built coming out of the factory that run over 150 miles an hour, and they market them towards the younger kids. The Camaros, the Mustangs, Challengers, Chargers, Hemis, you know, you with me on this? Brush is a 1305, my favorite bore brush today. It's almost, I mean, you can always say I could take this one product and use it the rest of my life and it worked great. Well, yeah, this brush would do that until it wore out. But anyway, it's just almost perfect. I don't know there is anything that's particularly better, but you can't really say something's perfect, because there'll always be improvement, I guess. Check out that Williams lather coming through there. But anyway, so they take these cars and they put all the loud exhaust on them and they give them to the kids. Now, kids do have to go through a licensing process, but they're not going through a licensing process that differentiates between Mom's Camry, which anyway, now that they have a sport model Camry, don't they? But anyway, you know, and a sports car. When you learn to fly, they differentiate between low performance and high performance and the different ratings that you have to go through to be able to fly different types of airplanes, right? If you're not an aviator, you may not know that, but it's true. So when you get up into the high performance stuff, you have to have an upgraded license. Why don't we do that with vehicles? All these little punks running around and jerks running around making all the noise with their tailpipes, cutting you off in traffic because they think it's cool to weave in and out of traffic. They think that makes a good driver. Weave in and, boy, look at me, I'm getting ahead of the crowd. Instead of getting in line and getting to the exit, I'm gonna run up and force myself in the line and slow everybody behind me down while I force myself in. And I'm gonna call that good driving. I don't call that good driving. I don't call that good driving at all. And I realize it's a European thing. I understand that they'll run two lines up to whatever and then they'll use the zipper method and zipper in. Well, we're not a European country, boys and girls. We follow law to not be a European country. I am not anti-European country, though, by the way, folks. That's not the issue here. But anyway, we do things different. And if you go running up and you're cutting in front of folks, if you're at a turn light that has two lanes, two turn lanes, and you know that when you get through that light, you need to be in the right-hand lane, why wouldn't you be in the right-hand turn lane at the light instead of being in the left-hand lane and then having to gun it real quick and go up and cut in front of somebody that was already in the lane they were supposed to be in? This is starting to happen all the time. When the kids aren't here, it's not as bad around here, and I don't ran as much. When the kids are back, man, rough. I mean, and then they're expecting to make these lane changes in a relatively short distance. They're not going a ways up the road and then they need to change. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about making a turn and then almost instantly wanting to be in the other lane. Do you sometimes change your mind where you're going and what you originally... Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. I do it all the time. However, that is not what's happening all the time. Because it is an all the time occurrence with these kids wanting to run over and swap lanes. Another one that got me the other day, almost got me run over, limping up on an interstate, what's you folks out west I think call a freeway. I've been known to call it a freeway. That's what they called it in Tucson when I was there. But anyway, limping up on a freeway or an interstate that had a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit and you're limping up at 45 to 50 miles an hour. That is not the way to get on an interstate, boys and girls. Now, that's usually not the kids doing that. I got behind a car yesterday and I'm accelerating. And we're going and all of a sudden I realize I got to quit accelerating because I'm fixing to park right in the back of that car. I had to get, not only did I have to get off the gas, I had to get on the brakes, and I had people behind me. And then we're limping out into traffic. It was fairly heavy. It was not a pleasant situation at all. And it was just an old grandma taking her time getting about her business, which is great. I need to take lessons from my grandma, though. I can remember as a kid, and I've discussed this before, and my sister even commented in the comments about it when I remember my grandmother, my dad's mom, Texas, Vidor, Texas. Boy, she had an old, she had a Grand Marquis, and after that she had a Buick LeSabre. But anyway, I remember the Grand Marquis the most because I was younger then. And she would go to get on the interstate, she'd hit the acceleration lane and she'd hit the floor with the gas. And that old Grand Marquis, which is of course the Mercury version of the Crown Victoria. Man, that thing would jump. It's really cool. My grandma knew how to get on the interstate. Most of these people around here don't know how to get on the interstate. And it is absolutely scary sometimes what these people do. We have a bridge here in town, and there's no such thing as a good time to go across that bridge. But when the traffic backs up, it's going to be backed up. I mean, the least little thing, and you've got miles of traffic coming up to that bridge. And you still have people that are going up on there, not being careful, just slamming around, changing lanes left and right, jumping in front of people, making them slam on the brake, which will make the people behind you slam on brakes, make the people behind them slam on brakes. And it's just, it just ain't no fun at all. And then you have one little fender bender and you have traffic backed up for 5 miles. And that can be the easy days. It can be backed up more than that. Oh, one little fender, the bender. But anyway, with all that, look at there. Beautiful Williams Wednesday shape. These old razors, if you can get a hold of them, they're so fun to use. A lot of them use modern blades. Unfortunately, some of the older ones, you still need the wedge blades. And of course, the wedge looks like a piece of a straight razor. But a lot of them, you know, for the early 1900s, some of them for the late 1800s, but the early 1900s, a lot of those models I found can use a modern blade just fine. There's people that make adapters. I've never had much luck with the adapters. I know there's people that do use them and they have great luck with them. So that's nice for them. But I've just never, I've never really been able to. Let's do a little touch up here. Get under that jaw line. Nothing really planned for today. Waiting on the Louisiana State Board folks that do the security license to get my reinstatement approved with the company I'm going back to. They're taking a lot longer than expected. My plans not exactly working out, but that's okay. Life likes to throw you curveballs, right? It's all right. You don't have to hit everything that's thrown to you, trust me. So we're going to use just some generic old, this is the Dollar Tree green. It doesn't really have a scent. It is not anywhere a knockoff of the Skin Bracer. It is a powdery scent. It is a light scent. However, it does have some castor oil and other things in there. And it feels pretty good, actually. It really does. It's a nice, like I said, a lighter scent. So if you're going somewhere where you don't need the heavy scent. I'm fixed to be working in a surveillance room, or what they call a security operations center. It's a smaller room, and you don't want really loud stuff up in there with everybody because you'll run everybody out. So this is the kind of stuff you can wear because it'll dry down in a hurry, and then it won't really be that good. I just hope they have good coffee. If not, I got my own pot. We'll travel. Hey, I think I just saw Miss Luna in the background there moving around. Might get a little bit. Agent 00 Devin walking around out there. All right, well look, y'all have a good one. That's my Williams Wednesday. Vintage Williams shave stick. Really nice. Smog 1305. It's really getting to be a well broke in. Got that customized paint job that Miss Luna gave it. 1902 Camp Brothers. And I do believe that was a stainless blade. I didn't put my glasses on to read, but I do believe it was a stainless blade. And we're good to go. And the percolated, not just Keurig, not instant. This is perked. Cafe Bustelo. Don't get much better than that. All right, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, happy shaves to you.